Are you guys ready to get hyped? You guys ready to get motivated to get fucking blown away?
Yeah!
Cool, because your next comic gonna do just that. Good friend of mine. Please put your hands together. Welcome, Dennis Wade.
Let's go, Dennis.
My name is Dennis, and I have ADHD, which means I talk a whole lot. It also means I make the Energizer Bunny. No batteries required, and I don't need a drum to get on people's nerves. You know? My wife says that I even talk in my sleep, and I'm thinking, why don't I hear it? And obviously, I'm talking in her sleep. I'm sleeping just fine. Welcome to my world. I can imagine the first time I started praying, God was like, oh my me, who woke this one up? Now we're never going to shut him up. There goes peace on earth. And Jesus would be like, hey Dad, why don't we just go down and convince him that he's Jewish and maybe he'll shut up and wait for us like the rest of them. And I think it's funny that God actually has a sense of humor because, you know, it'd be kind of interesting if God was a little sarcastic, because then he would be like, oh my goodness, no, my goodness, okay, get it, because I'm God, my goodness, all right, that's a joke, all right, you know? And I would be like, I get it, I really do, oh my God, I get it. See, because I said my God and you are, that means I got it, you know? And Jesus would, and God would be like, what are you, a wise guy? And Jesus would be like, no, Dad. Solomon was a wise guy. I know, because I made it that way. I'm Jesus, all right? See, how you like that? And I would be thinking, like father, like son. And both of them would say, I hear that. I hear everything. Gene, show me a miracle and stuff. And the devil would be down there going, what is this, a joke? And I'd be like, yes, it's a joke, because I'm a comedian. There's the punchline and all, you know? So it'd be a lot of fun. You know, I heard somebody talk about porn earlier, and I'm thinking, man, I just got into surgery, and I really don't think that's too much fun, you know? My wife has become a relationship surgeon, and she actually gave me a pornectomy, cut all my movies off. It felt like a part of me was missing, but I'm not alone. I was in the room with two deaf people. I heard a guy talking about deaf people earlier, and I have ADHD, and so it's frustrating. But I'm in the room with two deaf people, and they're carrying on this conversation for about 4 hours, and I don't know sign language, you know. And so this starts, you know, I get tired after about 4 hours of this guy, and I go to yawn, and the guy freaks out. When I'm freaks out, you know, and after 20 minutes, and an interpreter, what he was trying to tell me was that it was rude for me to interrupt his conversation. And I'm thinking, how do I argue with that? And how would two deaf people argue? Would it be like, talk to the hand, la la la, I'm not looking, la la la, you know? And then they get aggravated at each other and start flipping each other off, with their mom be like, hey, I won't have that kind of language around here. If I see it again, I'll wash your hands off with soap. And how would she say, look at me when I'm talking to you, the one that's still going la la la, you know? My friend tells me, you know what I mean, I shouldn't do jokes about people that are handicapped. I'm thinking, well, anything I say, how am I going to offend the deaf? So I was writing a movie called Ice Cream Clones. It's a chiller. It's about two brothers, Ben and Jerry Klondike. And they own a bar. You know, and I was thinking of calling myself so I could play both parts. But anyway, and when people get drunk, they take them up to the lab and they clone them. And townspeople start asking questions like, what do they do at the Klondike's bar?
I know, right?
They just know their customers and clone them. I know it sounds cold. And then when people ask me, how did you end up playing both parts? And I'm like, well, I just ended up in the lab drunk one night playing with myself. I got online the other day and I was looking for work, and they had this one website that said come down to Hollywood, become a game show host. And so like, you know, I called my mom and that's what I want to do my whole life. And so I called her and told her I'm going to Hollywood, become a game show host, and that turns into one big family feud. Yeah, she says, son, it's a dog-eat-dog world out there. She says, you're not going to make a fortune as a game show host. You're spinning your wheels in the wrong direction. I'm like, Mom, maybe this is my wheel of fortune. I mean, I don't have to go to college. I just have to be smarter than a 5th grader. I know all the lingo. Win, lose, or draw. I have to take my chances, you know. So I set up an interview. I head out to Hollywood, and you know what the guy tells me? The same thing that my mom tried to tell me. He said, son, you're not going to become a millionaire as a game show host. And I'm like, who wants to be a millionaire? I mean, I'm not your average Hollywood square. I'm just a newlywed, but if the price is right, then let's make a deal, you know? So he's texting me $64,000. I don't know if he means for a contract or for a year, so I'm sitting there in concentration while he's there and beat the clock. So in aggravation, I said to him, what's the $64,000 question? And he shakes his head real quick and he said, deal or no deal. I'm thinking, boy, my interview's in trouble right now. It's in jeopardy, you know.
You smell good.
Maybe it was just a scare tactic, but it worked, I guess, because the fear factor sets in. And I'm thinking, maybe I'm being punked on some Jamie Kennedy experiment, and I don't want to end up on candid camera looking like a jackass. Okay? I'm not 21 and a stud, but hell, I felt like the biggest loser, you know? I didn't want to be stuck in Hollywood, so I'm thinking, how the hell am I going to get out of here? And I look around and everybody's making movies and stuff. And I meet this girl that ended up being a prostitute. I didn't realize it until she gets out of the car with somebody once and she says, you know, it's been a business doing pleasure with you. And I'm like, so that makes him up. And she's like, I'm not going to give up the tricks of the trade. And I'm like, don't think I'm trying to turn one. You know, and then she gets these breast implants and she's like, well, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, what an artificial way to inflate my ego, huh? I'm like, no, I'm thinking that's a hell of a way to rack up a bill.
I just
She says, I know a guy that's getting them, and I'm like, what a drag. She's like, no, he's not a drag. You know, he's a transgender. He's in the whole thing. In fact, he joined a club today of transgenders. And I'm like, now why would you want to join a club that's always losing members? I'm like, well, can I get some of this? And she's like, I'm closed for business today. And I'm like, well, cool, turn off the lights and lock the door. So leave me in the back. You know what's really messed up is that when she was off work, she'd spend all day in the John. And then when she was at work, the John would spend all day in her. All right, well, anyway, I want to share one thing with you, and I got to go. I was going to have an idea today, and I would like some ideas on this Magic Barbie. I just sell empty boxes. Yeah, they'll be like, you know what, she disappeared, she's missing, or somebody stole her or something. I go, no, it's Magic Barbie. You know what I mean? She disappeared. You need to think outside the box. Because I'm on the beach the other day and I see Barbies everywhere, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I sold a lot of empty boxes. Anyway, I'm Dennis, thanks.
keep it going, Dennis Wade, everybody.